That moment is cemented in history.
Whoa, we are wet.
Should he have been nominated or won an Oscar?
Hey guys, welcome back to the VHS Revolution show. I'm your host, David Schumann. And today we have a really fun guest. His name is Jonathan Fujii. He's the host of the YouTube channel, The Film Drunk, which has become one of my favorite channels. Jonathan is totally himself, such a great guy. We had a great conversation about movies. And we also talked about his pick for today's Rewind, the classic movie, Spider-Man. Jonathan was a great guest. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to everybody out there for watching, for subscribing, for commenting and sharing the episode. Your support means everything to me. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode with my guest, Jonathan Fujii. Okay, my guest today is Jonathan Fujii. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
His account on YouTube, The Film Drunk, has become one of my favorites. How did your relationship with movies begin?
I wish I had a cooler story to tell, as if I saw the one and then just my life changed forever. I had a pretty quote unquote normal relationship with the movies. You know, my parents would take me to whatever was appropriate. A lot of Pixar in my life, a lot of Disney animated ones. You know, looking back on it, you know, you have some friends where it's like, hey, do you want to see a movie? And they're like, no, I'm good. I don't want to go to the theater, or I don't want to sit down on the couch and watch a movie. I was never like that. Even if I saw a movie already, my friend wanted to see one, yeah, I'll pay again to see it. And then when I got to college, that was just depressing is a little bit too strong a word. But I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was really going through the motions. And, you know, I love basketball. So basketball and then movies kind of got me through college, I felt like. And I just started to really get into movies a lot more in terms of expanding my knowledge of it besides just what superhero movies are.
Yeah.
It's funny considering what we're going to talk about. But then I really started to appreciate the filmmaking, the stories, everything behind it. And it was a pretty easy, I don't know, transition, I guess, to talking about it a lot more as it became a bigger part of my life.
Do you have favorite movies or a favorite type of movie that you enjoy watching just separate from your channel?
I am very attached to the 2000s comedies, you know, the stuff that may or may not have aged too well with the times.
Oh, yeah.
Which I recognize, but I definitely like those.
Like what? Like what?
I think of Superbad and The Hangover.
Right.
Those are the two that immediately come into my head.
Yeah.
Because Superbad is just because that's just a 5-star banger.
Absolutely.
And then The Hangover, I vividly remember me and my friend sneaking into a theater to see it, and then realizing there was an attendee watching people afterwards. So we just walked with this American white family, and I stick out like a sore thumb in that case. But right. I remember those two specifically. So I really love those. Really I do like rewatching things. I always say every year my goal is to watch movies that I haven't seen before that are older than just the newer releases. But a lot of the times I see movies with my wife or with my friends, and with all due respect, I'm not going to recommend The Third Man for a group movie night. I'm just not going to do that. I don't think they would tell me to leave. So that is one thing I wish, but yeah, those comedies in there I really love.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed from your channel, which is that you seem to have a great knowledge of movies and movie history. Your film knowledge isn't just current new movies.
Yeah, I mean that's something I try at least. Something I certainly need to get better at. I mean, there are so many movies I have not even seen before.
Oh,
it's just because I kind of am waiting to see them in a theater, which where I am in Arizona doesn't happen that often. It's not like I'm in LA or New York where they always do these rep screenings. So that is one thing I actively know I'm lacking behind. But again, it just helps you appreciate the newer stuff if you know a little bit more about the past.
Speaking of the past, let's get to today's Rewind movie. And your selection was 2002's Spider-Man, which I thought was a great choice. Can you tell me why you picked Spider-Man?
maybe everything that I have done with movies up to this point can be traced back to Spider-Man.
Wow. Wow.
It could. I
Is
don't
that
know if
like
it
a
is,
Mission
but it could.
Impossible? Like it's all led to this?
Exactly. That was the inciting incident, I think.
Wow.
I was born in December of 97,
What date?
29th. December
Wow.
29th.
Do you know what my
Yeah.
birthday is?
What?
The 28th.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Of
Oh, no kidding.
1977.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Wow.
Capricorn.
Amazing. Yep. Yeah.
Let's go. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
This
Wow,
is great.
that's crazy.
Yeah. This
that's
is great.
crazy.
Yeah. So you were born the year of Titanic and Men in Black and Face Off and Boogie Nights and all these amazing
Yep.
movies. That's great.
Yep. 97, which
Huh.
good year for movies, I presume.
Yeah.
I fully don't know if I saw it in the theater for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would have been pretty young. I want to assume I didn't. But I know for a fact that I obviously saw it in just the house, VHS, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know when you're watching, but I was like, this is it now.
Yeah.
This is my life now. What am I even seeing? Like this isn't like an animated thing. Like these are like real people. That's a real spider right there. It's really like the start of like, obviously nostalgia plays such a huge part of it, but I have like a full blind spot for Spider-Man now. And it really goes back to that. Like that is the like number one movie from my childhood. And when I watch it now, it still reminds me of that, especially in the way that it's like filmed. Like its style is pretty 2000s. Like I wouldn't knock someone if they said, wow, this really feels dated. I wouldn't knock someone for that. But that's kind of what makes it like special to, to me. So
yeah, I watched it with my 15-year-old daughter last night. And she was just planning on watching the first 10 minutes and then watch the whole thing.
yeah,
But there were moments where she was like, kids today, they refer to CGI as AI. So she's like, the AI in this is really bad. I'm like, AI isn't. Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what's happening.
That stuff. Did not know that.
Yeah, there's some dated VFX, but I agree with you. It's even like costume wise, it's not that dated.
Yeah. The visual effects, a little dated. The transitions are a little funky, which again I kind of like. But yeah, it is very 2000s-y. But you do like a movie sometimes to like put you in like the time frame of when it was made.
Absolutely.
There are some movies that feel timeless, that will always feel timeless, and that is obviously a special thing. But there's nothing inherently wrong with a movie like reminding you like, yeah, this is in the 2000s. This is a superhero 2000s movies back when I guess superhero movies weren't taken seriously or weren't that good, at least from the ones that I know. Is this movie the reason why like the MCU became like the biggest thing ever? Like maybe. It's an argument. So I think it just has a very cool place in history, obviously for myself, but also for like where things are now, like for movies.
Well, it definitely came out at a time. So the X-Men movie had come out in 2000, and then X2 was in 2003, 2004 for Spider-Man 2. But then there was also your Daredevils and your Catwoman, exactly. So they were kind of figuring out their place. But in a way, looking back, like watching it now, I kind of like that as well. Like there weren't as many rules, I guess you could say. And the thing that struck me so much about Spider-Man was just how much time it spent setting up Peter's character and story.
Right.
It's like 45 minutes, maybe even longer.
I mean, even for like, I remember Spider-Man 2, I mean, like one of the complaints was like, man, he's not like Spider-Man for that much because he like gives up the suit. And I was like, that's the point. Yeah. Like, doesn't that make it even more special when he does put the suit back on? So the fact that they did spend so much time like setting up, getting to know Peter and his struggles, I feel like now with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I feel like people are like clamoring for that. Like people are kind of saying it as a joke, but they're like, I want Tom Holland's Peter Parker to be broke and suffering. Like that's something that we haven't really gotten in the MCU because he's friends with Tony Stark. Yeah. And that's like completely true. That to me is that's what makes like Spider-Man great. is the fact that he's just like a normal person, and they really make sure that you are aware of that, even though he looks way too old to be in high school.
He does. He looks way older than
Yeah,
17 and way older than MJ.
Way older.
But I liked especially the time that it took setting up Peter and MJ and Harry and their relationship and Norman and all the different relationships, Uncle Ben and Aunt May. And the movie really takes you through his social standing at school, getting the spider bite, feeling these feelings and having this growth. And even him in like the first suit where he's doing the wrestling, like all that stuff is really great and really compelling. And I never found myself getting impatient wanting him to just become Spider-Man. That's a testament to how great the movie is.
Right. And I think that's one of the good things about this whole trilogy. And I have come to appreciate Spider-Man 3 a lot, actually. It's just a funny movie. But when you look at the trilogy as a whole, like, they really keep like the core characters there. Like, it is not a lot of changing in and out.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the superhero movies now in a trilogy, or just a multi-film franchise, there's so many people going in and out, so many deaths, so many new characters, new heroes, new villains. Whereas here it's like they're gonna build up Peter Parker, MJ, and Harry, and there will be like a villain, and Aunt May as well. Like they really keep those core four at like the heart of those movies. And since the first one does such a good job, it makes the rest of it pretty easy in terms of its next ones. So that's something that I also think is just pretty special about this one.
I'm going to just list off the movies that opened in the summer of 2002, along with Spider-Man, okay? Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, About a Boy, Insomnia, The Sum of All Fears, The Bourne Identity, Scooby-Doo, Lilo and Stitch, Minority Report, Mr. Deeds, Men in Black 2, The Road to Perdition, Austin Powers in Goldmember, Signs, and Triple X.
Wow. That is a diverse movie marketplace right there.
Yes, it is. 2 sequels. 3 sequels. That's it.
Yep. We'll never get that again. We'll just never get that again.
Did you know that James Cameron was at one point attached to direct this movie and that he wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to star? Yeah.
That I think about that a lot, actually. I love the movie we got. Would I have liked to seen James Cameron's take? Like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, how could you not? This is James Cameron. It's just very, very odd hearing the what ifs about this movie.
Yeah, it was in development for a really long time. A lot of people came and went, and he was going to do it. He even wrote this treatment and then he left to do Titanic, which, turned out pretty well for him. But the screenwriters kind of used his elements from his treatment in the screenplay, and he was actually up for having a screenwriting credit, but he didn't submit himself,
I mean, I always just like to know like the rationale between like James Cameron, and then you opt for Sam Raimi, who has not up to that point did anything like that.
Yeah.
Was known in like the horror genre. Like I really would love to be in those rooms, like hearing the pitch or like hearing what the executives are thinking about who they're going to hire. Like I always think about those like backdoor discussions. Yeah. Because it's just like it is crazy when someone like that gets a role like this. Mm-hmm. And like I think about like first time directors, like how in the world did they get this big franchise movie for like their first or second movie? Like I'm always very curious about that. So Sam Raimi is like an excellent example of that.
Yeah, I always think of Colin Trevorrow, who made this tiny little movie, Safety Not Guaranteed, and then his next movie was Jurassic World.
Yeah, exactly. Even like Ryan Coogler, it's like Fruitvale Station, like, okay, now you're taking this Rocky spin-off, like Creed, and then you're going to Black Panther. So it's crazy to me. Did
you know that there was a teaser trailer that was released in 2001 showing the World Trade Center, and then they pulled it after 9/11?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, and it's footage that's not in the movie. It's like this bank heist, and then the thieves are escaping in a helicopter, and then they get stopped, and the camera pulls back, and they're like stuck in a web that's suspended between the two towers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it cuts to like Spider-Man.
Good marketing. Just unfortunate timing, you know?
Yeah.
As someone who worked in marketing, that was a good idea. Just circumstances sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, it didn't really hurt the film.
Yeah.
And then it was the first movie to gross over $100 million in its first weekend.
The first ever?
Yeah. The first ever to gross over $100 million in its first weekend.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
And then I think the record was broken by Spider-Man 2, actually.
An even better movie, in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen any of these movies for a while. I just, the oversaturation of Spider-Man. I mean, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man more than I love the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I thought Andrew Garfield was fine. Those two Amazing Spider-Man movies are not that great, Yeah. I think they just...
I totally agree with you. I mean, it goes to what I'm saying, that like I do have a blind spot for Spider-Man, where I'm like, I know what I'm watching on screen, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm like, I know this is not a very good movie.
Yeah.
But
you
like,
love it.
I still enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
There's something like him swinging through the city. How did he get that high? Yeah. I don't know. I don't really care. Like, he's swinging through the city. Like, I'm not going to not enjoy that.
I'm with you too. I've always loved Spider-Man. I watched the cartoons, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, all the different iterations of Spider-Man. Just the idea of being able to shoot webs out of your wrist and swing through the city is just cool. And this movie, especially Raimi's Spider-Man, does such a great job of showing that.
Totally. I mean, that's one thing that the Tom Holland Spider-Mans don't do very well, in my opinion. I think in No Way Home, they have it at the end, which is at least had some emotional weight behind it. But yeah, that is something that I do miss from Sam Raimi. And like, I'm not like a comic book guy either. Like I did not grow up reading a bunch of comics. I am not very well versed in a lot of things, even though I've found myself to enjoy some superhero movies. But like, Spider-Man is the one where I'm like I am attached. Like, I am fully attached. I am in the bag for whatever they decide to do with Spider-Man.
How do you feel about the animated movies?
I love them. I mean, I'm one of those people that thinks Across, or I prefer Across to Into. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not. But regardless, like, I love both of them. I think they're incredible.
I love it just in general when a movie can surprise me. And having seen, I don't even know how many movies I've seen in my lifetime, but to know that it's still possible to surprise us, whether it's through animation or live action, that can't be denied.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that, like, No Way Home, in a way, like, makes this movie like even that much better, because Kevin Feige realizes, like, we can't do better than Willem Dafoe. Right. Green Goblin. Like, he's like, we can't do better than that. Which is like, Willem Dafoe he's one of my favorite actors, so I say this with full bias, but he's just cooking the entire time. Like, when he gives that speech about, like, people love to see your hero fail and eventually they will hate you, like, that hits me here. Like, I fully believe what he's saying. The little, like, slap on the head when he's like talking to Spider-Man. It's such a good balance of that comic book camp, but also having so much like real depth behind it, which
Absolutely.
Especially in the 2000s, like with the movies you previously mentioned, like, a lot of people struggled with that balance. I mean, Catwoman is like, what is happening? And so I think this one like really nails it.
Few actors will give you the level of commitment that Willem Dafoe gives you when he's talking to himself in the mirror. And the camera keeps cutting back. It's so good.
So good. I unironically am like, should he have like been nominated or like won an Oscar for something like this? Like, even in like No Way Home, so like so many years after, like, he still fully has it for like the Green Goblin. He's perfect casting.
Did you love No Way Home?
When I first saw it, I was like, it was like an overwhelming to my senses. So I did love it. Yeah. Now I'm like I really like that movie. The high has kind of worn off. Yeah. But I would never be like, this was garbage. Like I
No,
don't like it.
no.
I fully admit it has problems that I was fully blinded by. Like I
Well,
fully admit.
emotionally, once Garfield and Maguire come back, it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
their dynamic together and everything that happens in kind of the second half of the movie is so fun. It's fucking awesome to watch three Spider-Mans from different universes team up.
Yeah.
My problem was just everything else that came before it.
I totally, yeah. From
forced.
the moment where his spidey senses go off in the apartment and through the ending, I was levitating in my seat. I was fully levitating.
Yeah.
Again, totally agree. Everything before that part to me, looking back on it, I'm like, this is a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
And it is very ugly to look at.
Yeah.
But again, like, you walk away from that movie and what am I going to be like? Like, you're on such a high.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it fully has problems. I was way too kind to that movie when it first came out. But I just missed seeing Tobey Maguire, you know?
Well, also you have to think about it contextually, like we've said, like the time that the movie came out.
Yeah.
We were still super bummed from COVID.
That is totally true. That is totally true. So, yeah, it gave a boost of serotonin that we all needed, I guess.
The movie does kind of yada yada how he makes the outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. That
he just
is
shows
true.
up in the outfit, you know.
Yeah. That's totally true.
Yeah.
But again, do I need to see him, you know, threading?
Right. I think Garfield does some threading, right?
Garfield does some threading there. You know, Toby does the sketches as all it's all like crossfading on screen, which is hilarious to me.
The score is great from Danny Elfman.
Oh my goodness gracious. Every time like the credits, I don't know, it's like a feeling that can't be replicated. Can't be replicated to me. I have to ask before I lose it in my head.
Yep.
Is this your favorite suit out of all the Spider-Mans?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I like Holland's suit, but I don't like, not that I don't like the nanotechnology or that it's more like gear. I like that too. I like that they went with the brighter blue. And I don't remember much about Garfield's. Garfield's is just kind of dull and darker, right?
In the first one. So I was actually going to say, I think this one's my favorite. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 Andrew Garfield suit. He has like the big eyes. Like the big white, like glowing eyes. That one I kind of like, actually.
Oh, cool.
I really liked the nanotech stuff when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And then it continued on for like 3 more movies. And I was like, okay. Like I kind of miss the like pull down of the mask.
Yeah.
So I'm a little off that now. But the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, like with the raised webbing, if I could call it that. I mean, it looks so nice. Like, again,
it looks
not to
classic.
ramble, but it's classic. I remember when these movies were on Netflix and you just hover over it and it just has a quick image. Every time I hovered over it, I would just tell my wife, I'm like, God damn. I was like, look at that suit. I was like, isn't that amazing? She's like, yeah, you've passed it like 10 times. But yeah, I love the suit.
Right.
The suit's great.
It's funny because usually I take a lot of notes when I rewatch these movies, and I was just so in on Spider-Man. Even thinking about it afterwards, I had a few notes, but overall, like, it's just great. Even the Nickelback song feels so much cooler now than it did back in 2002.
I was nervous to rewatch it, actually, because I was like, man, I love this movie so much from my childhood, like, and especially with how like I've become more entranced with movies. I was like, man, I don't want to like lose that. Like, there are some movies you love as a kid and you rewatch it and you're like, oh my God, like, this is awful.
Yeah.
But when I rewatched it, I was like, it actually holds up better than I thought it would. Like, much better. Like, even to the Nickelback. Like, that is totally true. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that and like cringe. You know? I was like, oh, like, yeah, good.
Like singing along.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is great. I love movies.
Exactly. And Toby and Kirsten Dunst are really great. I mean, still, when I think of MJ, I think of Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, definitely. I think their performances are very good. I still would like to have seen like where this movie or how this movie is if those roles were different, because like, and maybe it's because I'm letting other people's thoughts get into my head, but the chemistry between like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone like is very palpable on screen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know that's for they dated obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but like Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, you know, it's like they're good together. I don't
Yeah.
know if it like knocked my socks off with their chemistry or whichever, but yeah, regardless, like Tobey Maguire, that's my Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, Garfield and Stone are great, and even Zendaya and Holland are great. I mean, they've
Yeah.
really done a good job making sure that whoever the male lead is and the female lead have chemistry. And I agree. I mean, I didn't notice this as much when I first saw the movie, but I definitely
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
the age gap between Toby and Kirsten a lot more this time. But he embodies that kind of nerdiness really well, and the physicality. It's kind of hard to tell, like in some places where it's a guy in a suit and when it's CGI. Obviously, there are times where it's obviously CGI. You know, even when he's like climbing up the wall when he first notices this, like the little things on his fingers, and he's doing that kind of stuff. He does a great job of that.
Gosh, that scene. I still remember like the close up of the thumb. I'm like, oh my god, it's like that's kind of
Yeah.
gross. And
Yeah.
and obviously now like Sam Raimi, it makes sense that he has something like that with his whole Evil Dead stuff. But
Yeah, I think that all like that stuff and the way that Goblin was presented with Norman with his other voice and the mirror stuff, I feel like a lot of that is Raimi, and he was able, kind of like you said, he was able to balance the kind of campy early 2000 comic book movie tone with something a little bit more serious and dramatic and even scary. I mean, Norman Green Goblin is a little, well, for my daughter anyway, he was a little like creepy, you know, with that
Yeah.
laugh.
yeah, I mean, you think about like the fight scene at the end, like where Spider-Man is getting his ass
Pummeled.
handed to him,
Yes.
or in the burning building. I remember being like a kid seeing it, where like Spider-Man reaches out and it's like it looks like the woman and it turns and just screams. I was like, that's like pretty frightening.
I loved how brutal that final fight was. He gets his mask ripped off. He's bleeding. He's bloody. I mean, it does that thing in movies where characters just like get punched like
Yeah.
repeatedly and then
Yeah.
kicked, and then they hit into a wall and then just get punched again. But violence wise, like the movie had earned that level of like brutality and violence.
Yeah, and it felt like it had like so much weight behind it, and especially again, I keep hating to go back to the Holland stuff, but like with so much CGI and like the Holland stuff,
Yep.
some of the action does feel a little weightless.
Yep.
Or a little video gamey, whereas this one, it feels like I'm getting hit, like I'm like dodging, like watching the screen, basically myself. I mean, it is just brutal, which I love, and I think even Tom Holland said like that's one part he wishes his movies had was like the beat down suit
Yeah.
versus his like nanotech is falling off or whatever, like
Yeah.
where half the mask is on but the eye is completely gone and torn. It's just amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it's nice to know, it's nice to see your superhero that they have weakness,
Yeah.
right? So this is like, I love Thor as a character, but Thor doesn't really bleed or get that hurt.
Right. Right.
Whereas Spider-Man, with all of his skills, knowing that he could actually die is important because it has you be more connected to him.
And maybe this is a generational thing because I feel like a lot of people around my age kind of feel similarly about like Superman. Like I know like Superman is my mom's like favorite superhero like ever. And I've never had that attachment. In fact, all my friends who again are like pretty regular, they're like, well, he's like invincible, isn't he? Like how is this like
Right.
okay, kryptonite, cool, but that's really it. Whereas this one's just like he was a high school kid, just getting his ass beat, just bleeding all over the place. I mean, that's the Green Goblin speech is true. Like we do want to see the hero fail
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah, and also for me as a moviegoer, maybe it's just because I'm older, but I've seen people get punched in movies now a lot.
Yeah.
And if fight scenes are just like one sequence after the other of people getting punched or kicked or with no consequence, then to me it just becomes a lot of noise, and
Right.
I don't care as much. You know, I
Totally.
have this I have an old friend who will always ask me like, "Did you see the new Superman or the new DC, or what do you think of Justice League, or what do you think of the new MCU?" And I'm like, I don't care as much anymore because it all just starts to feel kind of the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you have these moments like the final fight in Spider-Man or Tony Stark getting his ass beat, I'm more invested in the story.
The hero needs to be beat down either physically or emotionally, and or sometimes both. So like Spider-Man 2, that whole mental battle with him is compelling, even if he's not fighting Doc Ock. Like that's compelling. Or Iron Man 3, which is a flawed movie, but like I like that he was like fighting his like anxiety, like PTSD, like demons, like something like that is compelling. So, and again, this trilogy, for the most part, does it pretty well.
I would be wrong if I didn't mention the upside down kiss, which
Yeah.
still really works. It's still really cool.
Yeah. I have to ask, the theater reaction with her in the rain, was that, because I remember I'm a kid, so I'm not, and not to be like too like weird, but like my mom, when she saw this, she was like, whoa. She was like, oh, like her,
Yeah.
was like the wet rain on her clothes.
Yes.
I was like, like I guess that's what we're doing. But yeah, the upside down kiss, I mean, it's, I don't know, like, can another Spider-Man movie recreate that? I don't think they can anymore.
No.
I don't think they can do that anymore. They're not allowed to.
It's because there's very little in the way of like sex, and I use the word sex very broadly.
Yeah.
But there's very little in the way of sex allowed in comic book movies for some reason. There's a moment in Winter Soldier when they're on the escalator and they see the bad guys coming up, and they start making out. Cap and Natasha.
Yeah.
And even just that little moment brings something different and like a different kind of feeling than what you're used to, and I like that. It was surprising when MJ is soaking and she turns around and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay, we are wet.
Yeah.
You know,
Again, that moment is cemented in history. The upside down kiss.
Yes.
No other movie can do that.
No, and I can't even think of another moment other than on the opposite side, him dancing in Spider-Man 3 that kind of stays in my memory.
Yeah.
And then also the way that the movie visualizes him swinging through the city, where the camera is basically like with him swinging, and you get these huge shots through the city of the buildings flying by, and I could just watch that stuff all day. It's so great.
I probably sound like I'm hating on the MCU Spider-Man. Again, blind spot. I enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Spider-Man, like, it is kind of cheesy, but like when he's swinging and then he lands on like the American flag and then like swings towards the camera, like that is a little cheesy, but it's like charming though.
Yes.
Like, it is pretty charming.
It's charming cheesy.
That. Yeah, charming cheesy.
You mentioned something that I think is really important, which is that when we see a movie, the time of our life impacts a lot of how we regard that movie going forward. Our memories of when we first saw it, whether it was in a theater or at home, who you were with, your worldview at the time, all that stuff is really important. So for you to say, you know, you have this blind spot when it comes to Spider-Man movies, like, I totally understand that. And it's important. I think a lot of new audience, or a lot of people these days, especially on social media, when they talk about, oh, this older movie is cringe or that older movie is cringe, it's like, I can get that. But also, for some of these movies, you had to be there.
One thing I'm like have missed out on is like Star Wars. I was never really introduced to that as a kid for whatever reason. And now that it's gone so big and so many shows, so many different movies, I feel like I can't catch up. And that's like a similar feeling that I'm sure a lot of people have to like other Marvel superhero stuff. So like, yeah, totally. Like I believe people when they're like, Revenge of the Sith like changed my life. I'm like, great. Like that's awesome. Like, I'm not going to knock that.
Yeah. And if you were a kid when you saw Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones, then it has a totally different experience for you than if you were my age, I don't know, mid-20s when I saw Attack of the Clones. When I saw it, I was like, this movie sucks. Like, what is happening? You know?
Yeah.
But for somebody 10 years younger or even 5 years younger, they could have been like, I love this movie. This is amazing. This is my childhood.
Yep.
That's all that stuff is important. Is there anything else you want to say about Spider-Man?
He's just my GOAT. He is the Michael Jordan or LeBron James, whoever you are, of superheroes for me. And that will never change for the rest of my life. I'm confident of that.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking to me. One of the reasons why I started doing any of this kind of social media stuff, Instagram at first, and then with this, is just because I love talking to people about movies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it. I mean, this stuff is
Yeah.
great. And your Instagram is huge. I love the whole VHS thing. Like,
Thank you.
I wish they made those for like current movies.
Yes.
As well.
Me too. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for being on the show. All right. Talk to you later. Okay, that was a great conversation. Thank you so much to Jonathan Fujii for being on the show. If you enjoyed this episode, click the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share the episode with your friends. You can also follow me on Instagram, VHS Revolution. I'll see you next time. Take care.